È il 20 settembre.
It is September 20th, 1519. 5 ships carrying 237 men set sail from the port of Sanlúcar de Barrameda, Spain, heading west. The objective of the mission is to reach the Moluccas Islands in Indonesia without circumnavigating Africa, which, until then, was an unavoidable, long, dangerous passage controlled by the bitter enemies of the Portuguese. Known as the Spice Islands at the time, the Moluccas were the only territory known for stocking up on cloves, nutmeg, and mace, which were precious and very expensive raw materials. At the helm of this enterprise was Ferdinand Magellan, a Portuguese explorer who had guessed before anyone else at the existence of a new route to follow, but who would never live to complete the journey. He was, in fact, killed upon arriving in the Philippines, and command of his ship was thus entrusted to one of his subordinates. It was he who returned to Spain on September 6, 1522. However, only one ship and 18 men returned to the port of Sanlúcar de Barrameda, the same port from which they had sailed triumphantly 2 years, 11 months, and 17 days earlier. All the others had died, some in clashes with hostile local populations encountered along the way, the majority, however, due to a disease that was little known at the time, scurvy. Thanks to the studies resulting from Magellan's voyage and the analysis of the logbooks, a link was found between this disease and a low intake of vitamin C. To prevent its spread, crews were given infusions, citrus-based, citron in particular, or fed diets rich in garlic. This is how some preparations and sauces are still well known today, such as agliata, aioli, or pestun, sauces from whose evolution was derived one of the best known and most appreciated Italian condiments, pesto alla genovese. When we think of pesto, we all imagine large quantities of fragrant basil ground in white Carrara marble mortars. And that's true. Since the 19th century, in fact, Genoese pesto has been produced with the recipe we all know, consisting of basil, garlic, pine nuts, coarse salt, Parmesan cheese, Roman pecorino cheese, and extra virgin olive oil. What many forget, however, is that perhaps worried about digestibility as well as social acceptance, along with basil, the ingredient that can never be missing from pesto is garlic. In fact, speaking of garlic, even today you can still find an extraordinary variety in Liguria, in the small town of Vesalico. We find ourselves in the Albenga hinterland, a few kilometers from the wonderful Riviera dei Fiori leading to France, known for its greenhouses providing colorful and fragrant flowers of all kinds, which every January 1st perfume and adorn the stage of the Auditorium of Vienna, where on the notes of the Blue Danube and the Radetzky March, a Happy New Year is wished to the whole world. In Vesalico, the local variety of garlic has been preserved and saved from the disappearance to which it seemed destined, thanks to the stubbornness of a few farmers who continued to plant it in small plots of land literally stolen from the mountain. In addition to the organoleptic characteristics of this bulb, which, despite a delicate aroma, has a rather intense and slightly spicy flavor, it is unique in the way in which it is collected and stored. The stem is in fact not cut, but rather used to braid the heads together. By doing this, the bulb can be kept for several months without losing fragrance and consistency. If we want to dedicate ourselves to pesto now, we first need a mortar. Start by putting 2 large cloves of Vesalico garlic inside along with a teaspoon of coarse salt. Then pound with a wooden pestle until you get a paste. At this point, add the smallest and tenderest leaves of the basil a few at a time. You will need about 50 grams, and then continue grinding. Gradually, they will take the form of a bright green paste. This is the moment to add the pine nuts. Grind a little more and then substitute the pestle for a spoon. Gently stirring, add 40 grams of Parmesan cheese and the same amount of grated Sardinian pecorino. Then stir in the Ligurian extra virgin olive oil until the paste takes on a soft, creamy, not too liquid consistency. Your pesto is now ready. Set it aside and use it to season a nice plate of trofie, or if you just can't wait for the pasta to be cooked, enjoy it right away on a piece of toast.